evening, and thank you so much for joining us on this Memorial Day. And the weather was actually pretty nice out there. We know there were a lot of different events around northern Michigan to honor our fallen soldiers, from parades to different ceremonies. So it's nice whenever there's warm and clear weather on Memorial Day for all of those events. And it's just nice to start to warm things up after last week, which it was pretty cold. So Trevor, we're going to see this trend of warmer weather continue throughout the week.
Yes, we will. It's going to stay right around the average, which is where we were today, into the high 60s and low 70s. That's right about where we should be for this time of year. And the good news is that the entire week should stay that way in terms of temperature. So we got that going for us. Now, in terms of cloud cover and rain, we will have some of that return to the forecast later in the middle of the week, but nothing crazy. I don't think either of the days that we will get rain will be a washout by any means, but there will be some rain in the forecast. And then the weekend looks really nice. And on top of that, beyond this next weekend, it looks like we'll have temperatures warming up even further to above average to start of next week. So if you want to know more about that and our next chance for rain, make sure you tune in when we come back to the weather forecast in just a few minutes.
All right, thank you so much, Trevor. We have a great story to share with you on this Memorial Day. A northern Michigan veteran spent the last couple of weeks walking 116 miles. It took Bill Sweet 10 days to walk the M22 highway with a goal to raise awareness for a local nonprofit that is supporting veterans. And our Allie Baxter was there as he completed the journey today.
Feet feel great today. You know, I threw the kitchen sink at it with a couple pairs of socks on each foot, one different shoe on each foot. I don't know if you can tell.
With an American flag resting on his shoulder and a good pair of walking shoes on his feet, Bill Sweet set out to accomplish what he called a little bit of a selfish goal.
I wanted to do my own thing to kind of bring light to Memorial Day.
Bill is a veteran, so is his dad, his brothers, and his 4 sons. Service means a lot to the Sweet family.
People thought, well, Bill's not going to do this. Well, Bill did it.
As Bill explains, he was inspired by veteran Travis Snyder's annual walk around Lake Michigan. This year, Snyder said he's unable to complete that walk, so Bill volunteered to do the M22 portion of it, walking 116 miles over 10 days from Manistee County to Traverse City, and documenting the journey on Facebook.
Not sure if you guys and gals can tell, but she's raining. She's raining. Let me look here in this puddle. Not too bad right now. Not too bad. Not bad enough to put back on the rain gear because that stuff is super hot.
When you're out in the middle of a field walking in Northport and there's no cars coming for 5 minutes, you get a lot of time to reflect and think about your buddies, think about your family, think about why I'm doing this trek, and think about the people that hopefully it's going to help.
The people it's meant to help are veterans working with Reigning Liberty Ranch, a Grand Traverse County nonprofit dedicated to supporting veterans and their families.
The fact that someone goes out and goes through the effort of walking 116 miles with blisters and rainstorms, it's kind of a metaphor for their journey. And I thought it was so poignant, the way that he went about supporting the veterans, because it does connect him with the ideals of we're on a journey together.
Becky is the director of Reigning Liberty. She says the ranch was honored to be chosen by Bill as the nonprofit he wanted to raise money and awareness for.
Some people literally stop on M22 to give me a high five or hand me a check.
Bill's M22 path ended before Memorial Day, but his journey wasn't over until he reached Veterans Memorial Park in Traverse City Monday, where Becky presented him with what she called a Grateful For You box, with an M22 patch and gift card for a new pair of shoes for his next walk. In Grand Traverse County, Allie Baxter, UpNorthLive News.
And Bill said he raised more than $2,000 in donations just on his walk, and more people donated online as well. Well, in Allie's story, you heard her say that Bill was inspired by veteran Travis Snyder's annual walk around Lake Michigan, and Snyder was not able to complete that walk this year, but he was able to join us tonight on Unscripted. So Travis, thank you so much for being here and talking with us today.
Yeah, thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
So I know you have been doing this walk around Lake Michigan for a few years now, not this year, but we've reported on it in the past couple of years. Can you walk us back to the beginning of where the idea to do that walk came from?
Yeah, absolutely. Back in 2019, I was living in Manistee at the time, and we lost one of our Marine brothers to suicide, unfortunately, and he's sorely missed. But to commemorate him and to raise awareness for veteran mental health and suicide, I took off on foot for 810 miles in 6 weeks and walked around Lake Michigan counterclockwise and went through the UP, through Wisconsin, Chicago, Indiana, and back. And I've completed either another lap around Lake Michigan since then each year, or a trip across the state from the Indiana border to the bridge, just to keep amplifying veteran voices and talk about different organizations that are in need of support, and talk about some other veterans that are doing some great things for our military community. And it's just been a blessing and a pleasure. And I've met so many awesome people like Bill along the way, and I'm certainly inspired by his walk this year too.
And so why were you not able to do the walk this year?
This year I had to focus on working, just work and personal endeavors like pursuing grad school and stuff like that. So hope to pick it back up next year and do either another walk across the state or a walk around Lake Michigan again. But I just find so much joy in it, just from all the support from a lot of friends that I've made over the years doing this, and my partnerships with different organizations as well. And of course, there's so much beauty here in Michigan. So on the personal side, I certainly enjoy getting those miles in and seeing all these folks along the way.
And what was your reaction when you found out that Bill was inspired by your walks to do a walk of his own?
It really meant a lot to me. I mean, Bill's an awesome human being. I know he cares a lot about his country and cares a lot about his community and the folks that come in and out of his establishment there in honor. And his staff have been awesome too. Each time I pass through, they've always been very hospitable, and I'm blessed by him too, by his friendship.
It's definitely very inspiring to see this and to see all of the walks that you have done. What have been some of the different reactions you've gotten from the community when they either see you out doing the walk in years past or they heard about it online? What do people think about it?
I've gotten a lot of different questions, from how many shoes do I go through? What's the most beautiful part of the trip? Some of the fun stories and shenanigans along the way. We just, the overall message is veteran needs and veteran causes such as mental health, but it's also education and health care needs and whatnot. And so there's a lot of heartbreaking moments too, where we're trying to build a community and trying to gather people together to talk about the needs of our military servicemen and women, and what we can do to help them. And along with that come, a lot of good stories too, and a lot of great memories shared between veteran brothers and sisters, and that's what I'm blessed by. And so definitely get all kinds of reactions, a lot of positive ones, and yeah, I'm just very grateful for that.
And those are all very good questions, like how many shoes do you have to bring, and what are all the different logistics that would go into these very, very long walks?
Yeah, to be honest, that first year and 7 and 4 was awesome, and sharing the story, and so I'm very grateful for that too. But a lot of the questions that came up were like, what am I packing in the bag? Logistically, how did I plan for it? I loosely looked at Google Maps and tried to pinpoint how far I could get in 10 to 12 hours or about 30 miles worth of walking. And so I didn't plan to a T that first year. I kind of ran on faith, but for 42 straight days that first year, I had somewhere to stay every single night. I was prepared to rough it, to sleep outside. I just wanted to put in the miles, commemorate our Marine brother, and carry on. But the way it snowballed and kind of picked up after that first year is just incredible. And it just speaks volumes about how many people really do care about the veteran community and the needs that we have, and how far we've come as a society in talking about mental health in general. I think more than anything too, it's important to continue sharing the stories about our veteran men and women that have served, the ones that are here with us still and those who are not, like today. It's imperative that we perpetuate their memory and their legacy, those who have served, those who have put on the uniform one last time and didn't make it home. It's important that we keep talking about those that we love and care about and that we still miss today.
Absolutely. And if any folks out there watching do want to do their part to help support different veteran cause organizations, nonprofits, what can they do?
The key is there's some awesome organizations all over Northern Michigan, too, and like Reigning Liberty, like Bill supporting, awesome group of folks that are doing great things for veteran brothers and sisters. I've had a chance to, be blessed by their company and by their friendship as well too. But I think getting involved with your local VFW post, American Legion post, different veteran organizations, is important. A lot of the generations that served before I did, I'm so grateful for their service. And I think that it's important that we find ways to stay connected with them. During my time of living in Northern Michigan even, I had a great opportunity to meet veteran men and women from different generations and hear their stories and talk about their legacy and why they served and what it meant to them to put on the uniform, and I think it's just important that we keep sharing their stories and keep their memory alive.
Absolutely.
And we're there to listen to each other.
Well, Travis, thank you so much for joining us, and thank you so much for your service. We love hearing about your story and just all the amazing work you are doing, so thank you so much for that. And we do have one more story to share with you on this Memorial Day. A lot of different services took place in Cadillac today, and our Audrey Boucher was there to show you everything that happened.
Hundreds gathered in Cadillac to remember and honor the men and women who lost their lives while serving in the military. Cadillac's Memorial Day started with a salute to sea, where the honor guard laid a wreath in the lake, followed by a 21-gun salute at the city dock. This decades-long tradition pays tribute to the sailors lost at sea. It's then followed by a Memorial Day parade and ceremony at Veterans Memorial Stadium.
I love it, and I think it began to make it more than just something that's on the calendar. I love it when I see kids, people coming and maybe throwing a blanket or something down with little kids around, but they do expect candy. But they should not think that this is like Christmas. It's not. It's our 4th of July, not like 4th of July either.
It's a somber day.
It's somber.
95-year-old Betty Nelson's husband, Ray Nelson, was a Korean War veteran who served in the Army and helped start Cadillac's Honor Guard and organize the Memorial Day events. Betty says she remembers the moment Ray's idea came to life.
I remember when three Korean War veterans met. I was sitting in the car waiting for them. I have to get that in too. And they were talking about getting a new honor guard because the one at the Legion had outdied and so on, and they didn't have a very good group to do the honors. And so they were trying to think of something to do to get one going.
This year's ceremony honored Daryl Goodson, a Vietnam veteran who was a Marine and Purple Heart recipient. His daughter Jenny was a guest speaker at today's ceremony.
Having my dad be injured in war right on Memorial Day, so it's always been a celebration for us. We were always celebrating his life and him still being able to be here and live and honor and respect those who aren't.
Commander Stephen Birdwell of the Cadillac Area Honor Guard, who served 4 years in the Navy, says it's important to keep the memory of the fallen alive and remember what Memorial Day truly means.
Memorial Day is just always another solemn tribute. I get upset when people say Happy Memorial Day. It's not Happy Memorial Day. We're paying tribute to our people that didn't make it home. That's what it means to me.
Birdwell has been part of the Honor Guard for 15 years and invites everyone to attend the stadium ceremony next year.
Let's remember those who've fallen. Instead of standing in that parade, which the parade route was awesome, the people are awesome that are out there, the kids really appreciate it. Come over and visit us at the stadium afterwards. I'd love to see that stadium full some year.
In Cadillac, Audrey Boucher, UpNorthLive News.
We're going to take a quick break, but Trevor will have much more on the forecast for the rest of the week straight ahead.
I'm Jada Johnson from Big Boys TV, and the Fish and Game Report is sponsored by Johnson's Propane.
Well, it's nice to see some sunshine and warmer temperatures out there across northern Michigan after last week where it was pretty chilly and pretty wet. So, Trevor, more sunshine and warm temperatures the rest of the week?
We got lots of warmer temperatures the rest of the week, or I guess warmer comparative to last week. We're actually going to be right around the average in terms of temperatures, but we're not going to have sunshine all week. As a matter of fact, we're going to start trending over to cloudy for the next few days ahead of some rain. And then we'll have some sunshine by next weekend. So we'll talk about all that, starting with a look over our temperatures today. We did trend, as I mentioned, back towards average in the 60s and low 70s for most people. A few spots stayed on the colder side, up towards Whitefish Point, some areas inland in parts of Charlevoix, northern Leelanau County, parts of Emmett County and Petoskey. Stayed into the 50s today, but otherwise most people did get into the 60s and 70s, which is the average. Lots of sunshine early on today, but we did develop some cumulus clouds. If you look inland in the afternoon, some convection did lead us to some billowing cumulus clouds and even a few stray showers, but you can see over just the past 30 minutes at the end of that radar loop, those clouds are beginning to thin out. That's going to be something we will see more tonight. We'll have a brief period around 3 to 4 hours of clear skies before some clouds begin to take over the region ahead of our next system tomorrow morning. I think most spots, especially north and northeast, will have loads of sunshine, so a good start to tomorrow, but south and southwest, you'll see more cloud cover in the morning, and then that'll increase throughout the remainder of the day. So you have lots of sunshine early on for some people, but you will increase clouds later into the afternoon, especially the evening ahead of this next system. It doesn't show up on Stormcast, but I do think a brief shower is possible tomorrow in the evening, but most spots will stay dry. The majority of that rain will hold off until Wednesday, specifically Wednesday in the late afternoon and evening, targeting mainly the northern lower. You look there, 9:30 p.m. on Wednesday. There's a chance that some of those showers to get up into the eastern upper, so we'll keep an eye on that. But most of this does look like it's going to be in the northern lower. Low pressure kind of parks itself over parts of Lake Huron and the greater Ontario region in Canada for about a day or so, and so we'll get the back-end showers on Thursday too. Most spots will stay dry for the second half, for the ending of the week towards the weekend. Warmer temperatures this week, more around seasonal, and then beyond this week, the next 7 days, 6 to 10 days from now, we'll see warming temperatures back into the forecast. So we'll be average and then get warmer. And in terms of sunshine, I mentioned we'll have those clouds building around the Wednesday and Thursday, and then Friday through the weekend, we'll have a lot more sunshine. Forecast tonight, 30s and 50s. Most spots will be in the 40s to low 50s, but I do think some areas could get into the 30s with the clear clouds briefly tonight. And then tomorrow, we'll stay around the same in terms of temperatures into the 60s and 70s, but we will have a lot more cloud cover around tomorrow, especially in the afternoon and evening, perhaps a shower late. Rain will take over mostly by Wednesday. It'll stick around for parts of Thursday, and then by the weekend we'll return to lots of sunshine and temperatures right around the average.
All right, let's take a look at our question of the day. Thanks so much, Trevor. With Memorial Day weekend being known as the unofficial start to summer, we were curious if you plan on traveling out of state for a summer vacation this year. You can scan the QR code on your screen right now. That will take you to our website where you can vote. And it looks like majority of people as of right now are saying, nope, maybe they do have something planned, but they want to stay in state for their summer vacation this year. Be sure to not only vote, but also leave a comment over on our Facebook page or on this live stream right now, and we'll take a look at those results and comments again at the end of the show. But right now we are going to take a quick break, but in just a couple of minutes we will check in with Sports Director Harrison Beebe for your latest on sports. Stay with us, that's next. Let's talk some baseball with sports director Harrison Beebe, who is joining us live in the Content Center. And Harrison, sure was good to see the Tigers with another win after dropping 3 in a row to the Guardians last week.
Yes, it was. They gained some momentum with that tremendous Tarek Skubal performance on Sunday, though. Hard to believe his first complete game in a Tiger uniform, a complete game shutout, excuse me. And yeah, he made sure that the Tigers were not going to go down, losing 4 straight to the Guardians. And they still, I think I saw entering today, they still had a 4-game lead in the division. So it was obviously a long season to go, but there wasn't that much ground made up as you might have thought at the end of the day. But yes, getting a win over San Francisco, 3-1, and of course now our eyes are on the Pit Spitters, because after all, Memorial Day weekend, we are basically, in my mind, in the middle of summer. Not in the middle, but we are full on summer mode, and that includes Northwoods League Baseball. Not back at Turtle Creek Stadium, that won't be till Friday, but we know that the boys are playing right now down in Rockford against the Rivets. It's a 1-1 game in the 3rd. And we'll update, of course, on the results of the Pit Spitters opener tonight at 11. But baseball in full swing. The sun's out. Temperatures are up. It's that time of year.
And is that the main story today in sports? Not a whole lot else going on besides baseball today?
I suppose you could say that. I got a good story on our website right now about East Jordan senior Corbin Russell. He's a 3-sport athlete for the Red Devils, and he's going to play at Michigan State. He's going to be a pitcher for Michigan State next year. So that in itself is pretty cool. He was just awarded the Michigan High School Coaches Association Player of the Year, Male Athlete of the Year for Class C. That's like Division III. But then I think I read in the email as well, they kind of unofficially labeled him the best of the 8 division winners for boys and girls for classes A through D. So pretty big honor for him. He plays football, basketball, and baseball for the Red Devils. But we'll be going on to play baseball for Michigan State next year.
And you said that full story is on our website right now?
You can take more detail about it. Yeah, I learned from their athletic director at East Jordan over the weekend that he got that award. So I wanted to make sure to give him a shout out on the news today.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, Harrison, thanks so much for joining us for that sports update. We are going to take a quick break, but we'll check back in with our question of the day, the live results, and a few of your comments straight ahead.
Salon services are furnished by Epiphany Advanced Academy in East Acme.
The first official day of summer is still a couple of weeks away, but many consider Memorial Day weekend the unofficial start to summer. So our question today is, do you plan on traveling out of state this year for a summer vacation? As you can tell by our results, a lot of folks, 72%, are saying no. Over on Facebook, a lot of comments about know money is tight, can't afford it this year. And of course, when money is tight with the price of so many other goods up, travel is usually one of the first things to go. But hopefully I'll make maybe a trip to Chicago, or it's always nice just to get out of state a little bit every year. So we'll see about that on my end. But that'll do it for Unscripted tonight. Thank you so much for joining us. We really appreciate it. And as always, we will see you back here tonight at 11 o'clock.